Good morning guys, the rods are out and we're fishing again. This weekend I'm at Todber Manor, I'm on Big Hayes. Got down this morning and it was pretty busy. There's not many swims available. Looks like quite a few people have been here for a few days and doesn't look like any of them are set on going home. But in this swim I've got the edge of an island out in front, so I've got the corner of an island, I've got the side of the island, I've got rushes as a margin to my right, and a bit of open water between the right hand sort of corner of the swim here to the island before the corner goes around into the bay. And the wind is pushing down this way, and I've been told that the fish do follow the wind on this lake. So I thought, give it a go. And when I turned up, fellow in the swim next door had just landed a 27-pounder. Lovely, absolutely immaculate common. I think that was all I needed to see really. So I just want to show you my swim and the depths I've got to play with. So I've got the corner of the swim over there to play with. So let's just see. I've got a feeling it's a pretty flat bottom all the way out. And as you can see, it's about 4.5 foot. Very uniform. Just over 4.5 foot. Now, one of the spots I want to fish is just to the left of that bush out there, towards the island. So I want to be sort of fairly close to the bank, and so that's about 3 foot and a hard. You can see the shelf. So on top of the shelf it's 2.5 foot. So I want to be sort of probably about 5 foot off the edge there, and coming down into that little shelf, just about there I reckon. And then if I follow that round, so I'm going round the island, so it's not going to make much difference going around. But let's have a look. I'm thinking of going to bait around that area. So it's about 4 foot deep. Fairly hard bottom just there. Nearly 4 foot deep. Oh, it's dropped off there. So it's gone down about 5 foot deep there. So that's shouting out to me. Looks like a good spot. So let's have a look over here. Before the swans come and have a go at my boat, so I'm going to go the other way. Over here, into the open water. And yeah, 5 foot, turn round. So I did have the boat out earlier and the swans were quite inquisitive. So I'm thinking bait about there. Right, okay. On the 4 foot, 4.5 foot. Let's go back again. See that drop off. So you see it dropping off down to 5 foot there, 5.5 foot nearly. So I think I'm going to have one to the left of the bush, one just underneath the bush, and one just about where the boat is now. Yeah, so I've got the rods out. 2 on the OG fruit and nut wafters. 1 in a PVA bag with some pellet, 1 with a sprinkling of crumb around it, dropped out of the boat, and 1 is the 18mm dumbbell OG fish with a free bait stringer. I'll put another free bait stringer in the hopper, a little bit of crumb and a small handful of pellet on that as well. I'm sort of not over gunning it, going in sort of gently. Saying that, I have put a sprinkling with the catapult in the general area. Again, not a lot, probably about 10 baits around the fish and about 15 baits on the corner of the island. So again, I'm not piling it in. I want to go easy and see, you know, if I can eke a bite out just using a little bit of bait for any fish that may be in the area. I'll give it a go. I've got quite a bit of bait with me, so if I start seeing signs of feeding fish, you know, if they start showing in numbers, then I am prepared to, you know, get some bait out there and make a better bait and fish on that. But for the meantime, the rods are out. I had a little bit of a knock on the left hand rod up against the island. There were some birds in there, but nothing right near that at the time. It could have been a liner, something closer by. Probably went to the top, stayed there for a couple of seconds and then went back down again. And I have had a bit of interference with some bird life on my middle rod, which is just going up the side of the island opposite me. So yeah, interesting on the left hand rod. Apart from that, nothing as yet, but they have only been out for about half hour, an hour, if that. That's where we are. I'm going to get the kettle on and I'll catch up with you in a little while. Watch guys, just coming up for 1 o'clock and not done much filming. It's been a bit miserable, the weather. It's been lashing down at times. I've even had to have the door down because the wind started turning down straight into the door. So I've had the door down, been rained in, and very difficult to film in. But I'm just cooking myself some lunch. I'm having some Chicago Town pizzas. You know, the frozen ones, you get 2 in a box, about that size. So I've got one of those. I've just had one. I'm just cooking the second one. Just in the Ridge Monkey. I've even had to put my windshield up, see, to protect the stove because the wind's coming in here so much. The wind is actually meant to be going across the bivvy, but I think what happens, it comes round the islands, it's the bank over here and spins around a bit. A little bit uncomfortable, but not the end of the world. Not long ago I had a little twitch on the left hand rod. There was no bird life out there, so that's another little interesting knot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have my lunch and then I'll probably get some rigs ready for a refresh in the next couple of hours, get them back out, and that'll be it until something happens or I need to reel in at some point tomorrow. Like I say, sun's out at the moment. It is breezy. Every now and again a little bit of rain comes down, making it quite hard to film, so bear with me. I'll try and capture as much as I can, and I'll catch you in a little while. Watch guys, just coming up to 3:30. It's really cold. The wind is quite biting. It did die down for a couple of minutes, about 5 minutes ago, but it's picking back up. Yeah, I'm going to get some layers on and get nice and comfy because it feels like it's going to be quite chilly. And yeah, before we know it, it will be dark. So I don't know if I'm going to have much more footage today, but anything happens, obviously the camera will come out and I will share anything that happens with you. Evening guys, it's just gone 6 and it's pitch black and it's pretty chilly. It's going to go down to about 3 degrees tonight, so it's going to be pretty cold, not freezing but cold enough. And like I say, nothing is happening here. It's very quiet. The only bite that's been had is by me with the Co-op beef and black bean sauce with the special fried rice, which went down very well, especially with a beer. So that was it. Nothing else to report. I know Martyn from Martyn's Angling Adventures is fishing. He was down the other end. He's managed to sneak in after someone down in the middle of the lake, and he's had a couple of fish since he's moved. So I know he's off tomorrow morning. So if he continues catching tonight and I don't have anything, I'm going to message him and ask him to save the swim for me, and I'll go around there first thing and claim it and then move my gear around. So we'll see what happens. Bit of a pain moving, but if nothing's happening here and it's definitely happening down there, then I'm going to have to. We'll wait to see what happens in the morning, but that is one of the options I've got open to me. Anyway, that's it. I'm going to jump in the bag. Last couple of nights, been a bit restless sleep. I've been pretty tired. I've not slept very well, one reason or another, and I think it's showed today. I've tried filming. I keep making silly mistakes with the camera and the sound system, and I keep fluffing it up, and I think it's just down to tiredness. So I'm hoping a good night's sleep and a fresh start tomorrow, and hopefully I'll do a bit more blogging for you. But anyway, I'll catch up with you soon, and hopefully I'll see you in the night. Good morning, guys. Nothing happened in the night, and it was a cold one. I was lovely and cozy in the bag, but outside it's a little bit chilly. Anyway, I'm just having a cup of tea. I've started to pack some of the gear down already, putting stuff in the car, and I'm going to move in behind Martyn. I've had a message from him this morning saying that he hadn't had anything in the night, just bream, but it's got to be worth a shout. Plus, I've had a couple of swims down. I was packing down this morning. I spoke to him. He had one last night, and that's from the open water. So I'm sticking to the plan. My bucket's already behind Martyn, and I'm going to pack the gear down, put it in the car. I'm not going to pack it down completely. You know how it is when I move. You don't want to pack the bivvy completely in a bag and everything. I'm going to sort of lay it all on top of each other in the car and get it round there. But I don't want to get round there too early because Martyn's not going till 9. So yeah, I don't want to be sort of making him feel uncomfortable with me waiting behind him. So I've still got my rods out. I'm just having a cup of tea, and then I'll carry on packing down. So I'll see you in a bit. Okay guys, so I've had all the gear in the car, driven around the lake, other side of the lake, and I'm jumping into Martyn's swim. He's just shooting off, going off to Islands Fishery for another 24 hours.
Another 24 hours, mate. Yeah, I don't like to sit still too often. If you've watched any of my videos, mate, I get a bit itchy feet. So yeah.
But you've had a couple, haven't you?
Yeah.
So,
a couple out of open water. So I definitely reckon you're within
got a good shout,
mate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good move. I had to do it, even though it's a bit of a pain. I can't sit over there knowing that this swim's become free.
Definitely.
And there's been fish out. So my gear's all over the place now. I've got to set it all up.
Booted me out me swim.
Yeah, I've been waiting behind Martyn, watching me watch. But yeah, so anyway, gonna get set up. I'll catch up with you in a bit.
Good luck,
Good luck, Martyn.
Yeah, and you, buddy.
Morning, guys. So I've got the bivvy up in the other swim. The rods aren't out yet. They're sitting on the pod, ready to go. I'm just going to bait them up. But the mist is just rising. I can now make out the people on the opposite bank. So I'm just going to put some baits on, get these out pretty pronto, because I know Martyn had his fish during the daytime. So let's go and see what happens. So right hand rod is going to be simple blowback rig. It's like a multi-style rig, bit of a kicker, about a 9-10 inch hook length on a lead clip system. And on that I'm going to put cork dust wafter, and I'm going to top it off with a little bit of yellow foam or yellow corn, and we'll see if that produces the goods. I've already done some PVA stockings to put on the hooks, and they'll be going out as well. Now, just contemplating, although it's an easy cast, it's only like 10 wraps. I have wrapped the rod up, but I might even put it out with the boat, so there's less disturbance, and also get a bit of bait out in the boat as well. I'm not going to go mad, just a handful of bait, but rather than spomming it out, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm still going to use the bait boat. So let me get on, and I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so let's have a look at the swim. So I've got a big expanse of open water in front of me, which is very nice. Not seen any fish show yet. The birds are being very active. So I've got a fair amount of water in front of me. A couple of guys are just setting up in front of me, opposite there. Anyway, I'll show you what I'm fishing to. I've got one rod, which is my left hand rod, in line with a spindly tree on the distance there, and a spindly tall tree that is, and all my rods are at 10.5 wraps. So keep it nice and simple, wrap them up, and then send them out with a boat when it reaches that distance. I know I'm on the same spot each time. So that's the left hand rod over there. Then we go over. The middle rod is in line. It's about the fourth highest bit of tree to the right of that swim. And yeah, that's again, like I say, 10.5 wraps. And then right hand rod is a little bit further over towards the tallest sort of little spindly tree over there. I don't know if you can see it or not, but I'll show you with a marker whereabouts I am. But yeah, that's the swim. Like I say, there's no numbers on these swims, but this is right in the middle of the lake, and it's got the big sort of main area of the lake in front of you. So hopefully we can get a bite. Watch guys, just coming up for 5 o'clock, starting to get dark, and yeah, nothing to report. So rods are out. I've just leapfrogged over my left hand rod and moved it further to my right, because I didn't see it, but the fellow next door said he saw a fish over that way. Edging my bets to the right hand side of the swim, which is also where Martyn had the 2 fish he had, were to the right hand side of the swim. So yeah, edging my bets, all 3 rods are sort of almost tram lining out there. They're not quite. I mean, they're probably a rod length and a half apart, each one. But yeah, so they're all the same distance. Like I say, rod length and a half apart. And I've just changed up. I put a pop-up on the right hand rod, pop-up fruit and nut hopper with some pellets and some freebie boilies, and in the back hopper I put some more pellets and freebie boilies, and I just, after I dropped that right hand rod, I went over towards the middle rod and dropped the free bait from the back hopper over that rod. So that's the state of play. I'm not going to do any more. We'll wait and see what happens. Those are going to be there even until I have indication, I have to, you know, bring a fish in or whatever, and or until I feel like a recast tomorrow, and I may not even do that. But let's see. I've got to be off at 1 o'clock tomorrow, so we've still got some time on our side. And let's just hope tonight they start getting their heads down a bit more. But hopefully it won't be as cold as last night as well, because I think that really put them off. And if we're having the rain, obviously it won't be, but we'll see what the conditions eventually are. And anything happens, you'll be the first to know. But in the meantime, I'm going to get my chicken tikka masala in the Ridge Monkey, have that, and sit and relax and chill. And I'll see you in a little while. Good evening guys, it's about 10 o'clock and the rain has started a little bit earlier than predicted. But here it is, and there's nothing to report. I've had a few little knocks on the left hand rod and middle rod, so but nothing I could hit. Sharp little lifts and back down again. Very breamish. So that's where we're at, and I'll catch up with you if and when anything happens. Good morning guys, it's about 6:30 and it's just getting light, and obviously no fish to talk of. I did have a sort of funny take about midnight last night. The bobbin shot to the top, stayed on a tight line. By the time I got my boots on and out the bivvy, it dropped back down to the floor. So I walked out, round down, hit into it, and nothing there. So yeah, obviously reset that, put that back out. It's been absolutely cats and dogs out there, absolutely pouring through the night. Yeah, quite different conditions, and I was actually quite warm in the bivvy. I had to take me one of my hoodies off. So yeah, it was particularly warm. So completely different to Friday night. Yeah, just a shame, no fish to show you. Anyway, I've still got a few hours left. Fingers crossed we get a chance, but it's not looking good, I must say. But anyway, that's a catch up for this morning. I'll see you in a bit. Morning guys, it's getting on for 8 o'clock and the rain has kicked off again, as you can probably hear. I did reset the rods. I've repositioned all 3 of them, put fresh baits on, fresh rigs, and just in case, because I had a few knocks on all 3 rods last night and they may have been played about with, so I've put all 3 back out pretty early this morning. Nothing to report on those as yet, but it's early days. I've still got about 4 hours or so fishing time, and I probably will sit out till last knockings, and hopefully the rain will stop before then and give me a chance to pack up nice and dry. So that's where we are, latest update. Just having a cup of tea and watching the miserable day unfold. But okay, so that's it, end of the video. Thanks for watching if you watched this far. It's been a little bit tedious, a bit boring, I'd imagine, but anyway, that's how carp fishing can be sometimes. It can be hard work, it's not always catching fish. But we've had a bit of a session, we've had the frost, we've had rain, and yeah, it's been hard going, but that is coming up to winter now, so that's what you're going to get used to. If you get out on the bank yourselves, be lucky, and until next time, take care. I wonder where the flat spot is.